Hi everyone, this is Maria Clark at Sweet Willow Designs and welcome to my studio. Today I have a great project for you, which is a Southwestern faux enamel polymer clay bracelet. And I've made this bracelet using a button, just a metal sort of antique button from the fabric store. And I've also used embossing powders to create this faux enamel look. It's got a little bit of a distressed sort of antique look to it. I think it's a lot of fun and I hope you enjoy it. So let's get started. Thanks for joining me in this project. Welcome back to the studio. Let's talk about the tools and materials that we'll need for this project. They're really simple and many of you are going to have these things in your craft stash. This is a Genesis thick medium extender. You could use liquid clay. I prefer the Genesis because it's not as slippery as liquid clay. Embossing powder, you could use any color that you want. I happen to mix these four colors, which is a turquoise, a green, a maroon, and a white, to get the color that I was looking for, and I just mixed it up in this little plastic container. I have a bracelet finding. This came pre-made. I had to take a couple of links off to get it the right size. It's got a lobster claw clasp on it. I have a metal button that I'll use for the focal point, a couple of eyelets, 3/4 inch teardrop cutter, 1/4 inch round, Varathane gloss. You do need to coat the embossing powder. It just won't hold up too much wear if it doesn't have some kind of sealer on it. Burnt umber paint, my tools here. This is just 2 chain nose pliers, a texture sheet. Could use coarse sandpaper. I did use my marking template, a paintbrush, and a bamboo skewer. And that's all we're going to need for this project. Give me 1 minute to get the clay ready and I'll be back and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, welcome back. This is the actual clay sheet that I'm going to use, and I used a half a block of Primo Bronze and a half a block of burnt umber, and mixed those and conditioned them well. Rolled it out to the number 2 setting on my pasta machine, and then actually stacked 2 number 2 sheets so I could get just this right height. I'm going to go ahead and texture this just using my texture sheet. And I'll cover that with a little plastic wrap so I can get a beveled edge. And I'll go ahead and cut this. If I need to put a little bit more texture on that, I can do that. I see I want a little bit more where I kind of use the plastic wrap to bevel the edge. I'll use my circle finder, or this is actually the oval finder, and you can find that the link down below. And I'll go ahead and set this so I can find the center of this oval. Okay. And then I'm going to actually use a button for the centerpiece. Now this button has a shank on it, and sometimes depending on the height of the clay, this one happens to be perfect height. You might have to snip off some of that shank with just a heavy-duty pair of pliers. This I don't have to do that with, but what I do need to do is take a piece of wire to help me embed this. And actually I'm just going to slide that. This is just about, oh, I don't know, maybe an inch and a half of the 24 gauge wire, and I'm just going to twist that so I make a little bit of a kind of an anchor. And I'm going to put that through the hole that I made, the center of this piece. And then I'm just going to go ahead and depress this, press it in, and it'll anchor that wire on the back piece. Let me show you what that looks like. So it's just anchored in the back like that. Now what I want to do is take my 1-inch circle cutter and go ahead and put the holes for my jump rings. This is to attach the bracelet piece. And now what I'm going to do is I'll transfer this to a card just to make it a little bit easier so it's not sticking to the tile. So I'll put it on a card, and then I have a sheet of the same color of clay. This is rolled out to the number 2 setting on my pasta machine, and I'm going to cut 12 of these 3/4 inch teardrop shapes, and these are going to form the petals. Oops. Let's move these to the side. All right. So I've got my pieces cut, and I've got the blank here, and now I want to apply these petals. And before I do, I want to go ahead and put the eyelets in, and that's just because I like to finish the hole there so it has a little bit nicer look. And they fit in perfectly because they're the 1-inch size eyelet. And I've got my bamboo skewer, and I'm just going to start picking up each one of these petals. And this is the teardrop shape. I hope you can see that. I'm actually going to put the point of my skewer towards the point of the teardrop, depress it, and then sort of curve it up around the skewer. And then I'll apply that. And I'll start so I can get a good symmetry here. Start on each side there. Just kind of depress that a little bit. Rotate this around. And by doing it around the skewer like this, I get a little bit of a curve. And then I can start filling this in. Okay, I have those all applied, and what I'll do is just press down a little bit just to get a good contact. I still want a little bit of dimension here, but I also want a fairly good contact with the clay. And that completes sort of the sculpting part of this. We'll come back in just a minute and we'll apply the embossing powder.